Hello everyone and welcome to Wrestling Babble. I'm Gaz, flying solo this time as Dan is unavailable as he's in Disneyland Paris celebrating his birthday. So let's all wish Dan a big old happy birthday, 30 today. Or maybe tomorrow, or whenever you watch this video. Or you may have been 30 a couple of days ago, we're not sure. I'm on my own today and we are talking about Clash of Champions, which took place Sunday the 25th of September at the Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Now this was the first event under the name Clash of Champions. It was known as Night of Champions, and there was the Clash of the Champions, which was the WCW pay-per-view. This was also the first pay-per-view for the brand split as far as Raw goes. We had this first SmackDown one a couple of weeks ago, which was Backlash, which wasn't a bad pay-per-view. A little bit TV, but it wasn't too bad. Now, how will this stack up? How is it going to get on? Is it going to be as good? Is it going to be better than the SmackDown pay-per-view? Let's find out. Kicking off our pay-per-view tonight, Clash of Champions, was the defence of the WWE Tag Team titles. The New Day facing challengers Gallows and Anderson. Now, I think they finally realised that Gallows and Anderson, they've been wasting their time with this whole silly, the Doctor gimmick and the retirement comedy thing. They just need to make them straight out, smash mouth, ass-kicking heels, which I think is what they're going back to. Whether they're going to... what's the word I'm looking for? Whether they're going to achieve that because of everything that's gone on before, I don't know. And how much they're going to be able to do without AJ Styles there, with leading the club, if you will, I'm not sure. New Day came out to a good response. I kind of feel like this gimmick's getting a little bit stale now. I think the New Day are funny, but you can see people in the crowd are a bit like, okay, they're doing the same thing as they did last week. Not a bad match. I think the spots that should have been bigger was when a couple of the hot tags where I think Big E tagged in Kofi Kingston, and when it was supposed to be the big turning point of the match, the crowd was sort of and totally sandbagged it. Not impressed with the way the match ended. The match actually ended with Xavier Woods hitting Anderson in the head with the trombone while the ref had his back turned. It seems to be that's what they're relying on every time now. As far as New Day matches go, they need to change it up and they need to put them over. I think they need to start putting them over clean, because people are going to start thinking, well, hang on, these are good guys and they're doing bad guy tactics. What's going on? All in all, I'm probably going to say this a lot in this review. It was very, very TV. We've seen this match countless amounts of times now on SmackDown on a different event. They need to either put a definitive end to this rivalry, or change it up, because it's getting a little bit boring now. But yeah, New Day scored the win and are now, I think at the time of Raw on Monday, 400 days into their tag team reign, which has got to be some sort of record. But yeah, New Day picking up the win. The next match was a Cruiserweight match. Now the Cruiserweights have found their way from the Cruiserweight Classic, which is now finished, with TJ Perkins picking up the win and becoming the new WWE Cruiserweight Champion. And they're now on Raw, so obviously they're going to be part of the Raw brand, and they're going to be in the Raw pay-per-views. Now, this was TJ Perkins' first. I'm going to try really hard, because if I do slip up at any point in this review and refer to him as TJ Hooker, I do apologise. But it was TJ Perkins' first defence of his Cruiserweight title against the Brian Kendrick, veteran Brian Kendrick, who'd been in the company before. A fast-paced match, which you'd want in the Cruiserweight. If anything, showcasing to people who maybe didn't see the Cruiserweight Classic or have never seen Cruiserweights wrestle before, this was a nice little segue into what the Cruiserweights are all about and how they operate, the speed they operate at. I like TJ Perkins. I mean, his mic skills have got a little bit of work to be done, but that's going to come in time. But his ring work is fantastic. He's fast-paced. He seems to have his head screwed on. I like the fact that he sort of makes himself relatable to youngsters in the crowd by doing his little dab thing when he's doing some of his moves. I like that. Brian Kendrick, whether he sticks around, I don't know. Whether this was just a short-term thing, I don't know. But I think we could be set up for a good rivalry here, for the fact that when TJ Perkins picked up the win, he went to shake Kendrick's hand at the end of the match. Kendrick shook his hand and then headbutted him, got the heat back on him. She was like, ugh, Kendrick's a bad man, blah, blah, blah. TJ Perkins with the win and still the champion. But is he going to rival with Kendrick? Only time will tell. In the next match, we had the final of the best of 7, tied at 3-3 at the moment. Cesaro facing Sheamus. Classic big hoss match, really. There's not much else I can say. Vince McMahon was probably touching himself in the back watching this match because he loves two big burly fellas knocking the absolute bollocks out of each other. Back and two. It seems as these matches are going on, Cesaro is getting covered more and more in that. I can't remember what it's called. It's like some sort of like a muscle tape or something like that. So that's an interesting thing to look out for. He managed, despite the fact he had a bad back, he managed to hit the Cesaro swing, which was a nice little spot. The match actually climaxed. I thought it was a bit of a shit ending, really. Cesaro and Sheamus with a clothesline over the top of the barricade. The ref went, "Oh no, what's the matter?" They were both out of it, both all over the floor. Ref decided it was a no contest. So as it stands, we are tied at 6-6. Now, I was hoping to have some sort of deciding winner at Clash of Champions, but we didn't get it. I call bullshit on that. I hate no contest or double disqualifications or double countouts or anything like that. It's just a bit pointless, really. But you can't help but think they've put him in a best of 7 because they don't really know what else to do with him. So we'll have to check out Raw on Monday, which was already gone. So at the time of this recording, it's already been decided what's going to happen next. I'm actually halfway through Raw at the moment, so once I finish recording while I'm editing, I'll check out what happened on Raw. So yeah, Cesaro and Sheamus ended in a boring no contest. Chris Jericho at the moment is turning out, in my opinion, and opinion of a lot of people on the internet, some of the best work he's put out in years. I would even go as far as say this Chris Jericho, the whole gift of Jericho, drink it in. I would say it's almost as good, maybe not if on par with the suited world champion Jericho that we got a few years ago. He was fighting Sami Zayn. It was a good match. It was an athletic match. Jericho just wrestling out of his boots again. Sami Zayn always as good as he is. Match ended where Jericho hit the code breaker and then bizarrely walked to the back sort of crying. I don't know why, but he cried all the way to the back. I don't get it. I can't see where this is going to go next, I'll be honest with you. But I think they need to do something with Sami Zayn. I'd stick him... I don't know what they can do with him. Because they're not really going to put him in the United States title frame because you've got Cesaro and Sheamus in there. But then maybe you'd put an interesting input into there. I don't think he's ready for the world title yet. And it'd be a shame to see him stuck with someone in the tag team division because at the moment it's I think he's better than that. But yeah, Chris Jericho picking up the win and carrying on, giving you the gift of Jericho. Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Bayley. 3 of the 4 horsewomen that came up from NXT along with Becky Lynch, and they were awesome in NXT. Every match they had was fantastic. I mean, Sasha and Bayley had match of the year at NXT. I think it was TakeOver Brooklyn last year. But they just, it's as if they've been dumbed down on Raw. I mean, Charlotte just seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. And Sasha Banks, Bayley's only been there for a little bit, so we've not really seen the full potential on what she's going to be doing next. But they just seem to be saying, right, you're fantastic wrestlers, but I know you were brilliant and you had some cracking matches on NXT, but let's not be too good because you're going to show the blokes up. You're going to let everyone else see that Roman Reigns is crap. What's going on? It was a bit of a snore fest, to be honest, this one. Charlotte retained the title. Nothing much really happened. So, that's about it, really. It'll be a shame if they don't do anything with Bayley now she's come up because the fans love her. She's super over. She's really hard work. Put her in some matches with Sasha. Let's see if we can recreate the magic from NXT. But they've got to do something because the Divas Revolution, not the resolution, because you don't get a resolution, it's just revolution. It seems to be going flat and they don't seem to be doing anything with it and they're not capitalising on the momentum that it had. So they need to do something. And whether Charlotte is the right person to have the belt on, I don't know. But she picked up the win, and she's still the Divas champion. In the penultimate match of the evening, we had the defending United States champion Rusev against Roman Reigns. Another big hoss match, two big old bulls butting heads and Vince McMahon rubbing his hands together. This goes to show that if you're the right person and you've made the right friends in the back, you can misbehave and it doesn't make an iota of difference to your career. Roman Reigns walked away from Clash of Champions as your new United States champion. What is going on? It was only, 2-3 months ago maybe, that he was suspended for 30 days for violating a wellness policy. Surely they should have dropped him down like they've done with everyone else. Like they did with Jack Swagger, like they did with Alex Riley. They did it with everyone. As soon as they failed a drug, I think they even did it with Randy Orton as well. As soon as they failed drugs tests, they were in the mid-card and sort of suffering. Roman Reigns, it was a case of, oh, yeah, you've been done. Oh, you've come back. Yeah, you've learned your lesson now. Go and be a champion. It sets the wrong example, and it's going to annoy a lot of people. As soon as he won the match, I thought, oh, come on now. You know, he's just... It's not... I mean, I'm not a fan of Roman Reigns. I can see what they're trying to do with him. They want him to be the next big face. But people are just not taking to it. And unfortunately, the more you cram Roman Reigns down people's throats, and that sounds really, really pervy, the more you say, Roman Reigns, people are going to say, well, I'm not interested in Roman Reigns. I don't care about Roman Reigns. I don't know what they're going to do with Rusev now. Hopefully, he'll get his belt back. But I can see Reigns holding on to this one for a little while, which brings us oddly to our main event of the evening. Our main event of Clash of Champions was Kevin Owens, the reigning, defending WWE Universal Champion, defending his belt against the returning architect, the man, Seth Rollins. Now, I've noticed a few times in the last couple of weeks on Raw, they keep referring to Kevin Owens as the first ever Universal Champion. I mean, don't you forget about me. This match had a lot of hype coming into it. From when they gave Kevin Owens the belt, they presented it to him on Raw, and Rollins came out and attacked him, and they've been shouting back and two. There was a lot of hype surrounding this match, and the build-up was relatively interesting. But for me, the match fell flat. It was, both wrestlers did their parts well. There's a few nice spots where my particular favourite spot was where Kevin Owens lined up Seth Rollins for a senton on the announcer's table. And when the referee was saying, oh, no, you can't do it. Owens took one look at the ref and gave him the old DX crotch chop and then hit one to Rollins. And as he ran to do the senton, Rollins moved and Owens went straight through the table. That was an interesting spot. But once again, it felt like a Raw match for the fact that it was ruined by a crappy phoned-in ending. For the fact that Chris Jericho came out and they were sort of... You think, why? He doesn't need to be within this rivalry. All right, he's Kevin Owens' best friend at the moment, and maybe there's some sort of underlining storyline they're going to bring out where he's going to turn on Kevin Owens and Jericho will become the world champion before he buggers off again. I don't know. But for me, the interference ending ruined the match. It was an average match at best anyway. I don't really know what else to say about it, truth be told. I haven't said that much about each match because it's kind of, that sums up the pay-per-view for me. I'd say it was an poor to average pay-per-view. Quite disappointed with how it went. I'm hoping that the next pay-per-view, I think the next Raw pay-per-view is Hell in a Cell. I'm hoping that they can look at this and say, right, where do we improve and where can we up our game? Because No Mercy, the SmackDown pay-per-view, was just round the corner, and I think the SmackDown guys are just getting started. Yeah, so that was Clash of Champions. We had one title change. We had many successful title defences, but all in all, I thought it was a poor to average pay-per-view. They need to up their game. Raw is supposed to be the flagship show and the main brand. they need to up their game because SmackDown are snapping at their heels and they're definitely knocking on the door saying, let us in, let us show you how it's done. And their next pay-per-view is just around the corner. It's No Mercy on Sunday, October the 9th at the Golden One Center in Sacramento, California. This is going to be an interesting one, I think, but I won't say too much about it because I like Dan's thoughts on these things as well. I'm going to keep this short and sweet and bid you farewell. But thank you very much for watching. I do apologise for the shortness of this video. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Facebook, Wrestling Babble. It's a group, it's a closed group, so if you send us an invite, one of us will accept your invite. We talk about new wrestling, old wrestling, European, American, Japanese, indie, full-on WWE, TNA. We talk about everything in between. Thank you very much for watching. Babble on, and I will see you at No Mercy.